What's up, everybody? Discord, YouTube. Monster day for us in Discord today. So in my Discord, we have a little earnings section, earnings plays, right? Obviously, something I've been doing for a very long time. Mentioned Lululemon and how they've been really upbeat, pretty much all their last earnings. So they were due for a fall. Nike earnings was today as well. They fell, but they've been falling for a little while now as well. Seems like any kind of big name, big box store, big franchise, they've been falling in the retail sector. And the more smaller names like Gap, because actually Gap was not a very large market cap, or Guess, they were actually going up. Needless to say, Lululemon got destroyed today. Okay, it was down $100 at the worst of it, 101, I think. Okay, at that point, the RSI was like 11 on the 15-minute. It was almost single digits. Called for a reversal and drew a Fibonacci on the Discord. Posted, everything was posted. We had one member who had 700% gains on the way down from an overnight hold. We had another member make $14,000 on Lululemon puts. I made money on Lululemon reversals. I actually left, it's actually painful to say, $104,000 US on the table with the Lulu reversal. The Fibonacci, so the VWAP at the time, the VWAP was around like a 395, 396. Or sorry, yeah, it was around 395, I believe. And the Fibonacci was all the way up to like 400, for something, for the 23.6%, because a Fibonacci is multiple lines. If you don't know, you should probably just join the Discord, join Premium, and it's all in the courses there. It's all available. But anyways, and the courses is like a session. It's not like some like boring ass school class. Anyways, man, that thing went all the way to 410. It went all the way up to 410, which was exactly the 23.6 fib. When I redrew it on the whole day, on the 1 hour, I redrew the whole thing. It was it's 409.90. It went all the way exact to 410. And that was a gain of, what's that, 487 to $30, right? They went from $3.30, guys, the 490 call, $3.30 to $17 in the same day. All right, and the stock is still way down, but you can make money on both sides. That's what I'm trying to get at here. And then you had FedEx in the morning. FedEx, the morning RSI, guys, it was like 15 RSI before open. And I was like, okay, I'm buying this on open. Okay, like I'm buying this. I did buy it on open, and it fell even more, which is, it's not the end of the world. It's a little hard to predict the price of the options right at the morning, but there was clear profit taking, okay? Because, FedEx really popped on its earnings, which was also discussed in the Discord, which I also said their earnings is based on their Q4, and Q4 has December in it, and that's their best month. Like, there's no way it's going to be a bad earnings. It's their best month, Q4. And Amazon and everywhere was saying, oh, our online deliveries is way up this year. It's, who cares about Boxing Day in-store sales? It's all about the online. So FedEx, UPS, they were going to go ham. And it did, right? It's hard to predict what the price will be, though, because the options isn't even populated. You're throwing a dart. So I just entered, and then as it fell a little bit more with the profit taking, because the sell pressure was high, I averaged. And right away, it's very quick. We're talking 1 minute, maybe 2 minutes. Okay, it instantly rebounds. I was up like 3,000 something in a matter of minutes on, I think, only like 10 or 15, maybe 10 options, something like that, and they were only like a couple bucks. They weren't even very expensive. And I just took the money though and I got out because obviously very volatile. Normally what you would see on something like that, a big pop like that, right, is you would see the drop to check area of support, which is exactly what happened. It went exactly to the 13 EMA on the 2-minute. Checks the area of support, and then it goes higher, and then upgrades start coming in and all that stuff, which they did. Okay, there are a lot of upgrades on it. You know, like $50 higher than the current share price, like substantially higher. And then the stock climbs as news spreads to the broad market, right? Obviously insiders know before it even happens because they know, oh, what are you reporting? Okay, cool. And then they front load and make tens of millions, if not hundreds, if not billions of dollars. And then, you know, people like me or people in the Discord that are constantly watching, we're aware, so we're making moves in the pre-market on shares or in the after hours on shares, and we're ready to go like market open. And then you have what's called the broad market, you know, sort of everyday people, institutions and stuff that, I mean, like if you're supposed to work at 9 in the morning at a bank and your bank ETF is adding FedEx or whatever on based off of positive earnings, you're not doing that until you're at work, right? So because you're a salaried employee, you're not there for fun. So the broad market gets involved and then lifts it up, and then you usually get a slow move higher, sometimes a pop and then a slow move higher, but it generally goes in the direction of the sentiment and the upgrades. FedEx sort of just lagged today. It lagged today, so I never really found an opportunity to re-enter. I'm thinking it's just sort of laying the foundation to bring the 200 EMA higher and give it sort of a baseline and then move higher from that. So next week I do expect a move higher on FedEx, absolutely. The earnings next week is super. There's like not a lot at all. We're getting to the very tail end of the Q4 earnings here. And then we're going to begin Q1 earnings all over. It's going to be all crazy all over again. GameStop is next week. Think that's going to be bust. The only good game that's come out in the last 6 months is what's called Baldur's Gate 3, and it's a PC game sold on Steam. I don't even know. It might be sold on Epic. I don't think so. I think it's just Steam. So they didn't get anything. They didn't have shit. They might have had some Christmas sales. Sure, okay, Christmas sales, but again, there wasn't any good games that I'm aware of that came out around that time. They all had come out earlier in the year. And I mean, their console sales are way, way, way down. I don't know who the hell is buying Funko Pops anymore. It's a dying industry, the retail game store. It's really that simple. Amazon has taken a massive cut with this game sales on it. The competition is insane. Green Man Gaming. Just go to isthereanydeal.com, isthereanydeal.com, and type in any game. And it's going to show you like 30, 40, 50 different websites that are basically, including like Microsoft Store. All trustworthy websites, and tells you the absolute low that game has ever been. I only use this site at this point, okay? I used to just use Steam, and now I'm always using that. I never use anything else. It tells you the lowest price. Is there a current sale? You can set up alerts to get it on sale. All this good shit. None of that translates to a good future for GameStop, is what I'm trying to say. GameStop still has this massive shelf of like 700 million shares. And if you were in AMC, or if you know what a shelf is, it's shares that they could offer at any time to raise capital and dilute the float. Raising capital to make money. That at your expense. They take it from you and give it to themselves. And then usually the CEO gets a bunch of bonuses and shit, and then the stock falls. It's a disaster waiting to happen over there. Fully out of fucking was out of GameStop after the 450. Like I never looked back at that stock. I think there's a couple other decent ones next week. It's in my earnings plays section. If you got access to the Discord, just go to that. It's a really light week. Like I said, there's literally nothing on Monday of note, and there's nothing on Friday, but there almost never is anyways. Very rare, and usually only the first month or so of earnings for the quarter. So really, you just have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and it's super light, which means you're going to be relying on what's happening in the week on individual stock moves and any sort of news-based stuff, like what happened with Apple yesterday, where Discord members could have made close to 1,000%, because the options went all the way up to over 2,000%. It opened at 60 to 100% though, so you have to cut that in half. That's how math works. If it goes from 100% to 2,000%, you don't make 1,900%, because you're making like 950%, right? Because you're paying 100% more than close, and it's 2,000 from yesterday's close, not 2,000 from open. Literally, if you're like, what did you just say? Just rewind it and play it again. That's how math works. So, but that's a 10x'er. 10x'er intraday, called it out all day. We did have a few people, Carolyn, I think her name is Carolyn or something like that, from the premium members. She got in, she made hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Literally pays for the Discord. Discord pays for itself. Again, we had some massive winners today. Congratulations to you guys. I left a literal year or 2 years salary on the table. That sucks that sucks some BBC. But it gives me inspiration that the market makers, guys, are getting greedier than I have ever seen them. Almost every day, one ticker at least is giving 1,000% gains on either calls or puts every day. Do the math on a exponential growth calculator of 1,000% every day for an entire year. From $1,000, it's probably like $200 trillion. It's mental. It's insane. And they control the markets, so they can quite literally print money doing this. And you'll have winners and you'll have losers, right? That aren't them, that are trying to navigate in between that. And that's kind of why I've been gravitating towards these reversals, because it's very hard to get in on a play. Reversals and continuations. I'm trying to absolutely not speculate on what a stock will do the next day. I don't care what it will or will not do. I'm trying not to speculate on just random stocks like, oh, I like Tesla, I'm going to play Tesla. Nope. If it doesn't really have any news, if it doesn't really have something that's moving it, I'm really not involved in it at all. So the last few weeks it was Coinbase and MSTR, crypto, basically related stocks. It's been really going wild the last couple days. And Apple had the news yesterday, and today FedEx, Nike, and Lulu had news. So there was no reason to play such speculative assets, that's all they are at this point, pure speculative, which means you can really get screwed real quick, especially on a Friday on a 0 DTE. So if you're in the Discord and you're watching this and you're wondering, well, what am I going to be playing week to week? That's literally what I'm playing week to week. Oh, Carnival Cruise. That's one of the next ones next week. So Carnival Cruise, I made some notes about it. This will be a freebie for you for Discord, so you can understand what the hell is he talking about earnings plays in his earnings section. So I will post what is coming up for earnings, and Carnival is one of them. And then I have knowledge or research that I've done. So earlier in the year, in January, the CEO said we're at 102% capacity. These are my exact notes that I gave the Discord. We're at 102% capacity. So, which bullish stock ran, right? But me, logically, now that it's Q1, we already know they're there. We already know that. So how can you go any higher than 100% on a cruise ship? There's only so many rooms to book on a cruise ship. You got to be booking for next year or the year after, right? That's a problem. They either need more cruise ships or a way to make money over and above this capacity, right? So to me, I don't see how they're going to have a good earnings, because it's going to be what's called in line or meeting expectations. There's not going to be any surprises, because you don't go from 102% capacity to 140% capacity. You don't fucking have capacity. That's it. We have this many rooms on this many boats on this many cruises through the year, and that's what we have. and they've already been booked. And last year, they were actually 109% capacity. So they were actually incentivizing people to rebook. If you rebook, we'll upgrade you, or we'll do this or that. So, you're not going to incentivize anyone when you're only at 102, because there's going to be some degree of cancellations, right? So I would expect it to be in line, which could even be bad for the stock. If it's in line, investors might move their money to a more higher performing asset class. Okay. Now, of note, you can avoid Carnival entirely and play Royal Caribbean and Norwegian Cruise, NCLH. Those are going to do exactly what Carnival is going to do, at a lesser extent. Let's say Carnival pops 10%, expect those other two to pop 3 to 6%. If it falls 10%, expect them to fall 3 to 6%. So it'll be less risk, because, with a big pop or a big drop, there is reversals. So that's where, if it does do that, draw Fibonacci. And if you don't know what it is, join the Discord, right? I try to help people, like I said, for the last almost 2 years now. I'm trying to educate people on how to become traders and investors. There's enough memester pump and dumpers out there, to get you through if you're just the most basic level individual and just hit buy and sell on your phone. If you really want to understand what's going on and try to make some real cash, like I'm saying, I made 4,000 today, left 104 on the table. Someone else made 14. Someone else made this. If you've made 14,000 in a day, maybe you don't need any extra help. But even then, if you're an advanced or expert level trader, we have those in the Discord too. They are, they're there for alerts, call outs, information, sharing of information. Because we've got eyes on the whole market, right? Over 200 members. It's very good to have multiple eyes. It's especially important because on, say, Webull Chat or StockTwits, you're going to get people that are biased, extremely biased, either bullish or bearish, but usually 90% of them are extremely biased to the bull side. We have a few in our Discord that, it's hard. You'd be hard pressed to convince them anything's going down. But with us, it's open discussion, right? And everyone, you have a chance to actually hear all of that information. So I highly recommend you join the Discord. It pays for itself. Like I said, it's pay gated. Keep the trolls out. Keep the bots out. Keep the fraud scammers out, because we've had those. You got even on YouTube, you get that. They've really done a really good job lately, YouTube, of getting rid of those WhatsApp scammers. But shit, that was crazy for a while there. So yeah, I don't really. It's noon. It's 12. There's only an hour and a half in the day trading. I left. I wasn't really sure. I wanted to play a little bit more Lulu, maybe get it down to 400, which I think is going to be the bottom for next week, and then we'll have to see what happens. But I made my money, and I think end the week on a high note. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to know when to pack your bags and pick up and move on. Don't try to force the trading. That is a major thing I teach in my Discord. Don't force trades. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to make moves you wouldn't normally make. And then an hour and a half left. It's really up to the mercy of the end of day market. I guess the only thing I'd be looking at is if SPY is green going into close, you could short it real quick with puts for next week. So for Monday, you wouldn't buy 0 day to expire. Okay, you would not do that. You would buy the Monday one. You could short it if it's red and it's come down, 15-20 minutes out, you could probably go long, because SPY has a weird tendency to just do the exact opposite right before close. It doesn't. I would not say that it does this 100% of the time, but recently it pretty much does this every day. If it's flat, stay the hell away from it. Don't go anywhere near that shit. I know NVIDIA was pumping today. That's probably one where you're going to see profit taking going into close. NVIDIA, meaning profit taking, meaning the stock will fall a little bit. It's not going to be crazy, but it should fall. So there's, you know, if you managed to stay the 20 minutes, thanks. Hope you guys hit the like button, share the video. You know, if you're not subscribed and you just saw this, please subscribe. But again, Discord link will be in the description below, guys. Have yourselves a good weekend.